You gotta love the fire that this guy shows. We bring you all the strokes, all the goals, and all the buckets. Hoops, there it is! Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Spur. We have a fun show tonight.
We do. We got plenty to talk about as we are getting closer and closer to the end of the winter season.
Yes, it is.
We have essentially playoffs starting with the Nordic ski team at their conference meet, and we've got those results later in the show.
No question.
No question. We start, though, with the hockey team, the boys hockey team. Welcomed a couple of non-conference visitors to the Crick last week, starting with a visit from New Prague on Tuesday. SLPCR was trying to end a 3-game skid, but the Trojans' woes were even worse. New Prague was winless in its previous 7, and they were just 1-7-2 after starting the season at 4-1. Both teams came in desperate for a win. Trojans start the scoring. A block shot leads to an odd man rush. Walker Anderson will take it himself. He beats Bushy top shelf and gets the Trojans on the board first. No worries. SLPCR are able to come back and even the score. The long one-timer from Teddy Wackman made it a 1-all game. Unfortunately, that was a save. We lost the teleprompter. I'm going off of memory. Here's the long pass. This is a beautiful goal. Long stretch pass. Wackman patient gets it across the Alphen backdoor. Just an easy tap in for Drew Lindquist. That put SLPCR ahead at 2-1. Unfortunately, on the power play, a bad bounce. Lichter had to go over his stick, and then he caught an edge, leaving a shorthanded breakaway that ends up in the back of the net. Sends us to overtime, and in the extra period, it was New Prague finding the net and ending the night happy. They had a very long drought, and they had a longer ride home.
They did. Well, the boys didn't have to wait long to shake off the sting of that loss, but they bounced back in a big way. They ended their 4-game slide by putting up their most dominant win of the season, and they did it against section rival Irondale St. Anthony. The home team was buzzing from the opening puck drop. Caden Sukup denied in close. The SLPCR works it around the horn and a great feed to Engberg for the finish. That power play tally started the scoring and the burst the dam at the same time. We're going to move to just 30 seconds later. Engberg denied from the short angle, but Lichter recovers it and finds Andrew Clark out front. For the redirect, it's 2-0. And they're just getting started. Lindquist attacking with speed. Centering feed is blocked, but Alphen recovers and finds Teddy Wackman at the hash marks for the one-timer. Nice goal there. You know what, Joe? Scoring is contagious. It's also been a lot of fun for the boys. They were far from finished. Jackson Amberg using his speed again to get around the corner. He slides the backhander 5-hole. Second of the game made it 4-0. They scored just five times in just under 6 minutes. Caden Alphen actually skates in below the goal line. Nice shot there. Really good look from above. Great patience. The goal out of the position. 5-zip. More scoring in the second, as you saw there. Engberg flying down the wing again. Slides it across for Clark. He hammers it to a wide open net. 6-2 in the third. Great stretch pass to send Teddy Wackman, as you saw there, on the breakaway. He nets his second of the night and shows off the celly. All for the good of the team's leading scorer. They add one more. Great pinch down the boards for Tranby. He feeds it out front. And Herzog able to poke it past the keeper, sends the game to running time. 8-2, the win for SLPCR.
It was a fun game, and everybody getting involved. You had Wackman and Engberg each with 2 goals, 2 assists, 4-point games. All their captains had multiple points, and everybody smiling. It's nice to see that kind of result, but only 6 games now remaining on the schedule. They need to put up a couple more like that. They do. The importance was were they dominant, but it was against a team that was right behind them in the section.
Yeah, they needed that win, and they got it quite obviously.
So nothing's ever positive, but they're pretty safe from going into that 8-9 pigtail and having to play Rogers in the second round. They will host Elk River Zimmerman on Thursday. They are at Anoka on Saturday. Girls hockey team heads into the final week of the regular season with some momentum after scoring a couple of wins last week. It started with a trip to Rogers on Tuesday. CPCR beat the Royals 3-1 early in the year, so they were looking for a season sweep against their conference and section rival. CPCR owned the Royals in the first period, outshooting them by a 15-1 margin, but the keeper kept him in the game. Caitlin Easton finally breaks through, getting her own rebound for a power play goal, 1-0 after one. Rogers playing better in the second, and they draw even with speed. Claire Lauer wins a race down the wing. She goes bar down on the far side. Game was tied at 1. CPCR had their chances. Great look in the final seconds of that second period. June Semling from the hash marks. Keeper makes the save. It's 1-1 going to the third. Early in the final frame, watch the effort from Semling. Races in, gets knocked to a knee. Her shot goes wide. Lily McKenzie recovers. And look who's alone out front again. Semling circles back out front, takes the feed. Notches her 28th goal of the year. It's a game winner. They had a 41-16 shot advantage in the game, but had to hold on for a 2-1 win. And that is a little bit of a disturbing trend for this team as they get ever closer to the postseason.
We've seen a number of games just like that where they've really outshot their opponents by a great margin, but haven't been able to find the back of the net as often as those shots accounted for. So obviously 41 shots on goal, but only two in the back of the net.
Yeah, got to be able to finish, especially when they start to face the teams in the games that matter. On Saturday, they took on Wayzata, and they won a close one, 5-4. The return of Maddie Wastrel is definitely good news for the girls' squad. She did give up 4 goals on 26 shots, but gave her team a chance to win. And when they did, Tessa Bowden 2 goals and an assist. As Swegan, Hipson, and Bertovic, the other goals. Awesome to see a little bit more depth scoring as we get into the final handful of games for this team as well. A huge test for them coming up on Tuesday. They will play against Andover, and then they finish the regular season at the Super Rink against Mounds View, Irondale, and Howie.
We'll be there!
And that is also a section rival. Wrestling team took part in the Irondale Duels last week. It started against Zimmerman, and Coon Rapids was victorious by a 40-24 score. They then lost to section rival Cambridge Isani handily, 47-18. But they finished the day with a win over their hosts, 41-20 over Irondale. Bridenstine, Kostick, and Skilling all 3-0 on the day. I believe Bridenstine and Skilling both had at least 2 pins. Girls Varsity State Tournament meet was held on Saturday. It was the first time a Coon Rapids girls team has competed in a duel.
So cool.
They did have to give up a handful of weight classes. They couldn't quite fill the entire lineup, but they got at least 1 win in every match. They went 0-4, but sophomores Maddie Estradi and Jacqueline Shear went 4-0. Junior Lily Mathiasen and freshman Sasha Olson all went 3-1. Also on Saturday was the freshman section. They did have 3 place winners out of the 6 that competed. Unfortunately, no one qualified for the state tournament. The Cardinals will be at Maple Grove on Friday. Wayzata Trojans will also be there. And then on Saturday is the Bengals invite. Gymnastics team had the week off due to a postponement. Say that they will be at Osseo on Wednesday against Champlain, and also Champlain Park in Elk River will also be there. Next week they are at Anoka. Swimming and diving team, the annual battle for supremacy at the Northdale Middle School pool. Unfortunately for the Cardinals, went the way of their pool mates from Blaine this year. They won that event 101-76. Jackson Ling, first place finish in the 200 medley, was the only blue ribbon of the day for Coon Rapids Totino Grace. Michael Courier was second in the 200 IM Noah 1-2 finish in that event. They also went 2-3 with Carter and Effiam in the butterfly. Jackson was second in the 100 freestyle, and Effiam was second in the backstroke.
Well, the boys made the short trip to Fred Moore Middle School on Thursday to take on the Andover Huskies. The Coon Rapids Totino Grace team has shown steady progress. This duel put them up against a team in a very similar position. Cardinal Stars continued to shine, but the Huskies would swim away with the victory. First individual event of the night is the 200 free. The blue ribbon goes to the visitors. Jackson Ling continues his outstanding senior season. He's able to pull away down the stretch, closing out the victory in a time of 156.25. Cardinals had 4 first-place finishes against Andover, 3 of them in freestyle races. This is the 50 free Joe Slavin, the splash and dash, and it's Ben Effiam holding out the late surge to finish first, touching the wall in a time of 25.25. From the shortest race to the longest race, the Cardinals have competitors who are going to battle in every event. This is the 500 free, and it's another win for Jackson Ling. He runs away from everyone. His time is 5 minutes 21.38, more than 19 seconds ahead of second place.
Yeah, and that last first place finish in that event goes to Carter Ling in the 100 butterfly. 200 medley relay team was second place. Dean Tronson was second in the butterfly, so a 1-2 finish in that event for the Cardinals. Gary Montagna was second place in the 200 IM. Effiam was the second place finisher in the 100 backstroke with La Montagna right behind him in third. Llewellyn finished third in diving, and Drew Lachinsky was third place in the 500 free. On Saturday for swimming and diving teams, the red, white, and blue invite took place. That's a tournament for 7th through 9th graders. They had a handful of competitors in the event. All did very well.
Right.
Most notably, freshman Dominic Lachinsky, who I just called Drew a moment ago, but Dominic Lachinsky had 2 top 8 finishes in that event. So congratulations to him. Upcoming for swimming and diving, they are at they host Elk River on Thursday in Howie.
We'll be there.
Then they have the Northwest Suburban Conference meet next week. Nordic ski team. Last week we brought you just the times from their classic the week before. That was the first part of a pursuit that got them ready for today's championship pursuit. So last week they had the freestyle race of said pursuit, and when all the smoke cleared, the boys finished in 5th place with Lachlan Demmer taking first place, a combined time of 24 minutes 54 seconds. Josh Hyatt was second for the Cardinals in 14th. Ryland finished in 18th, Alan Wing in 28th, and Brody Falk in 44th. On the girls' side, a 3rd place finish with Bethany Law taking 3rd place overall. Combined time, 30 minutes, 55 seconds. Ruby Demmer not far behind in 5th. Ella Legree was 21st with Megan Fuller in 28th and Hannah Burns in 33rd. Earlier today, really all day today, down at Highland Park in Bloomington was the Northwest Suburban Conference Championships. In the pursuit race, a great day for Lachlan Demmer. He finished his 2nd place overall. Albie Ludwig, great to see him back.
Yes.
We talked about it. He got hurt in the relay qualifier we saw a couple weeks ago. So he was back, finished 19th place in the pursuit. Alan Wing was 49th, Brody Falk 72nd. Top sprint relay team for the Cardinals was Ryland and Joshua Hyatt, and they did get into the finals and finished with their 6th place finish in 13 minutes 20 seconds. On the girls' side, 7th place as a team in the pursuit, Bethany Law, a 5th place finish, 30 minutes 45 seconds. Ruby Demmer, 11th place overall. Megan Fuller in 47th. Amelia Fuller in 59th. Burnt and Legree are the sprint relay team that finishes in the finals with a 5th place finish, 16 minutes, 29 seconds. And we had a camera down there.
We did.
We saved the highlights because the intrepid reporter Jerry Grant was there down at Highland along with Neil Highlights Hennon, and they are putting together a feature piece on the Nordic ski team that we will have here on Sports Night next week.
You mean Jerry's Corner is back next week?
Jerry's
I love
Corner
it.
returns.
I love it.
Next week. Also next week is the Nordic ski team's section race. Big one, especially for Lachlan Demmer and Albie Ludwig were a sprint team that qualified for state last year. But with how they are racing separately. In the pursuit, Lachlan has been on fire all season long. So it'll be interesting to see which route they go. They're definitely a duo to contend with if they do decide to team up for the relay. Those races on Wednesday at Theodore Wirth. The state championships will be a week later up in Bowabic at Giants Ridge. Alpine ski team had its 4th race last week. The boys team finished in 11th out of the 12 teams. Ben Simon was their top finisher, taking 58th place. Logan Stroman in 63rd, 1 minute 42.03 seconds. Combined Stevens behind him, Augustin, and then Bowen finishes in 83rd. On the girls' side, a 9th place finish overall. They got all 5 girls to finish this time. That's fantastic, as we talked about. They're one of those programs that have struggled with some numbers. They had some girls out earlier in the season, and as always in a lot of these races, you DQ once.
Right.
You miss one gate. I would DQ after, I think, the second gate. I might make the first one, that second one, I'll just see at the bottom. I'm going to go get some cocoa.
I mean, you're going to stop at DQ for a cone. That's what I would do.
Alpine ski team has race 5 at Trollhagen on Wednesday. Their section tournament is up in Bowabic next week on the 4th.
Little round ball. Can talk a little round ball.
We're going to talk a lot round ball.
Yep.
Some exciting stuff happening in the world of basketball.
Yes.
We start with the boys basketball team on their home court on Wednesday. It was supposed to be on Monday, but because of the cold, they pushed it, or it was supposed to be on Tuesday, they pushed it to Wednesday. They lost to Park Center, but a Pirates team that's down a little bit from where they normally, the dominant team they frequently field. So, kept it a little bit closer. But the important thing is not the total points for Jackson Young, but I think his 4th point. I think he was 3 points away from the school career scoring record going in. So by about his 4th point, they stopped and had a little celebration. A lot of the fans knew that this was coming. And,
yes, they did.
It would have been great to see him get it in a win. But, watching that young man's success has been so much fun, and no one deserves it more. As Coach O'Gorick talks about, it's not what you see, it's what you don't. All the things that he does in the dark is what makes him such a great leader. Tegan Plowman-Tate, though, the scoring leader for the Cardinals against the Pirates, 24 points to go along with 4 assists. Kirby Wymore chipped in with another 10-point performance. He had 5 boards as well, 9 points for Connor Young, and Okoye had 8 for the Cardinals. Well, the Cardinals hit the road on Friday night, heading north to take on the Rogers Royals. The Royals were a couple of games ahead of the Cardinals in the standings, but they were vulnerable. They had lost 2 in a row and 6 of their previous 8. It was a great chance for the Cards to score their first conference win of the year. In order to do so, they'd need everybody to contribute, and they were up to the task from the very start. Keep a straight face, Connor. Jackson Young adding to his school scoring record with another big night. He hits a 3 from the corner to give CR the early 5-0 lead. Tegan Plowman-Tate had a phenomenal year, as we just talked about, in his own right. He had 16 against the Royals. This one won't go, but guess what? Young is there with one of his 12 rebounds. Quick putback, tight ball game midway through the first. Jeremy Oddie showing the skills on the drive. Nice hand, solid fake, and a sweet roll for the finish. Oddie chipped in with 13 points. Check out this give and go. Oddie with a miss from the perimeter. Jackson Young tracks it down to the corner. Out to Connor Young. Back to Jackson for the finish. Jackson had a career best 36. Cardinals win 75-68.
How many times do you think?
2 weeks in a row that he's had a career best. He had 33 last week. That was a career best.
How many times do you think they practiced that one in the driveway?
I was going to. You stole the question.
I stole it right out from you?
Yeah, it was obviously they're on the same page, but great to see him get a win against a team that's a little bit ahead of him.
Yep.
But the interesting thing, as I was digging into it a little bit, the teams that Rogers has beaten in the conference, the Cardinals have not yet played. They will see a couple of them in the next couple of weeks. So
yes, they will.
Good chances, including Andover. They have Spring Lake Park on Tuesday and Andover on Thursday this week. Both are teams that that they should be able to compete with.
Yeah, we'll be there tomorrow night, by the way, to bring you all the action. And again, congrats to Jackson breaking the Tom Copa's school record of most points. And I wish it would have been a CTN game. That would have been a fun one, obviously. But boy, well deserved. And when I talked to the coach at Spring Lake Park today, he had such nice things to say about Jackson, and rightly so. He's a heck of a player and a great young man.
Yeah, it'll be fun. They're putting that 4-0 CTN record on the line when they host the Panthers.
It's a lot of pressure.
On Tuesday night.
A lot of
and then
pressure.
Andover, that's a big game. Andover, will be a little bit of a favorite, but that's always a great matchup. A conference and section rivalry since the day Andover opened. So interesting. Looking forward to seeing how that one plays out as well.
Well, the girls' basketball team started its week by traveling to Park Center on Wednesday. The Pirates had only 3 wins on the season, and they were coming off a 65-point loss to Providence Academy in the MLK Classic. The Cardinals are hoping they could build off Saturday's win over Apple Valley and score their first conference victory of the year. Both teams trading baskets early. Callie McGrain fires down court to find Rochelle Cooper behind the defense. She turns and scores, and Coon Rapids has the early lead. But the Pirates scoring leader took over in the first half. Lyric Singleton jumps up to grab this pass, then races coast to coast. Finishes with the bucket and the foul. She had a game-high 34 points. Pirates on the run. Singleton kicks it to the corner for Jocelyn Ogechi. Hits the 3 from there. Home team up by double digits. But Jakaya Palmer has the answer from the other end. She hits a 3 late in the half. Still the Pirates lead 41-32. Cardinals trying to get back into the second. Strong play down low for Amari Royal. She gets the bump and the bucket. She had 9 points and 11 boards, but it wasn't enough. Park Center able to pull away down the stretch. Demi Holman with a 3. Pirates had 4 girls in double digits as they go on to win 89-67.
Yeah, and so many things to remember. The youth. In this program. I mean, not a single one of them was really getting much, if any, varsity time last year.
Correct.
And they have yet to see a single minute played by a senior. So everybody will be coming back. Great to see Amari Royal and Rochelle Cooper having big games. Some of the other pieces, Aaliyah's been fantastic all year long. Jakaya's it's certainly a player as well. But they've got total. Rochelle Cooper, I really like.
McGrain has done well too.
A solid player.
Absolutely.
I mean, they will have coming back next year a solid 7. That 5 plus the first 2 off the bench. Should be exciting to watch. But they've still got some work to do on this season. They hosted, I should say, Rogers on Friday. Lost to the Royals 74-58. Rochelle Cooper, a big game, 17 points, 6 boards, and you mentioned Callie McGrain also has had some nice outings. This is one of her better ones this year. 15 points plus a steal. Aaliyah Graham, a dozen, and 10 boards. She had a double-double. I think that's her 3rd or 4th of the season. Royal had 6 points again, almost into double digits on the boards. 4 and 4 for Jakaya Palmer. They have the same. The reverse schedule of the boys, I should say. They're at Spring Lake Park on Tuesday. They host Andover on Thursday.
Well, it's a fun one. Quick one. Fast. It went fast that half hour.
And a lot of stuff coming up this week on CTN. On Tuesday, we have boys basketball against Spring Lake Park. On Thursday, swimming against Elk River. And on Saturday, girls hockey against Mounds View Iredale. But that's going to do it for this edition of CTN Sportsnight. I want to thank you for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young.